recently been given to the Conservatoire. How important is that in your global reputation, in what you do?
Well, I think it is very important because particularly international students will see that, and beforehand they might have wondered why we didn't have it. So it definitely is a help, and we've seen that reflected in all the application figures.
So it's just under 2 years, isn't it, since we saw the final concert in the Adrian Boult Hall, the Verdi Requiem, and now we're here, I suppose, the phoenix risen from those ashes, if you want to put it like that. This building is extraordinary, and this really puts you... This is the first brand new conservatoire built in a generation.
Yes.
Tell us what you've got here.
If anything, it's exceeded our expectations, particularly the acoustics of the 5 performance spaces we've got, which is such a luxury, isn't it? We've even got a beautiful little jazz cafe, which is made just like that, with table service and everything. It holds about 85 people, 100 max. We've got an experimental lab, which is used by the acting students a lot because we're merged with the School of Acting now. We've got a lovely little recital hall, and of course the main concert hall. And we have an organ studio as well. That's quite unusual. But the main hall is the gem, really. It's I think it's a really fantastic acoustic. It can be adjusted with acoustic blinds, so you can make it more resonant, less resonant, depending what a conductor wants. It's a 21st century hall, but it doesn't feel like that. It's very... If there's one adjective to describe it, I think it's warm. From the seat colours, a beautiful sort of deep wine claret colour, and all this wood.
And the wood's absolutely stunning as well.
Everywhere, and I think that is reflected in the sound.
And there's an intimacy to it, though it can fit a symphony orchestra, as we've heard this evening, sort of ideal for chamber as well. There's a connection with the audience in that space, I felt.
Very much so. It's a different world to the old conservatoire and the old hall that we said goodbye to.
You're here now to the east of the city centre, which seems to be growing every day, and you're now very much at the heart of the university. You mentioned also you've now joined with the School of Acting. How important is that cross-pollination to the conservatoire life?
Well, obviously, I always knew that was going to happen. When I took the job, it was always planned that the Conservatoire would merge with the School of Acting when we moved to the new building, and that's exactly what's happened. I think it is very important. I think that all the students learn from each other. It goes across the university here because we're right next to the School of Media and Design, and everything is on the doorstep. And so there can be quite a lot of cross-fertilisation, I guess, with the different genres.
And you're part of the university. The Conservatoire is funded in part through the university, isn't it? So that, again, is different to other conservatoires, isn't it?
It is. It's funded totally by Birmingham City University, which is a bit of a sore point at the moment, so we don't get any government support at all. We used to, but they withdrew our specialised institutional report because we're not standalone. But it's a huge burden for the university. I feel really quite strongly about this because it's expensive to do conservatoire tuition. There's a lot of one-to-one teaching, which is not the same in the other parts of the university. So they've been absolutely brilliant with this. In all honesty, when the compulsory purchase order came through in 2013 for the area we were in before, they could have made a decision to shut it down because it is so expensive to run. But they did the reverse, and at a difficult time for music education in this country, and really put their money into this. With £57 million development. In this day and age, I think that they are hugely to be commended for that.
The role of the Conservatoire is so important to the city. I wonder if you could tell us a little about the relationship you also have with the CBSO, conducted tonight, your orchestra, by Mirga Gražinytė-Tyla.
We have a great relationship with the CBSO. Probably we work more closely with that orchestra than any conservatoire works with any orchestra anywhere. A lot of their principal players are on the staff here. We have showcases of our own students before some of their orchestral concerts. We have players working alongside them in rehearsal. It's a really close symbiotic relationship, and obviously the fact that Mirga's with us tonight is a confirmation of that, and I think it's a great thing. I hope it works both ways. I think it's very good for our players, obviously, to work with such a wonderful orchestra, and they really are on a high at the moment. I think that they're under Mirga, they're sounding fantastic, so it's certainly great for our players, and I think it's always good to have really good young players coming through.
If we were to come back here to celebrate your 10th birthday, where would you like to see the Conservatoire? What will have happened in that decade?
I would like to see it fulfil a very important role in British music education, because I think we're all of us having a tough time with music in the schools. The curriculum is so narrow now, and they've taken it out of the school curriculum basically, and so therefore we have a big job to do. As I think all the conservatoires do, we have a big outreach program, but to be honest, it can only be a drop in the ocean. All children should have access to music. I believe that music is for everyone and for every child, not just the ones whose parents can afford to pay for instruments and tuition. So the conservatoire has to be a kind of beacon for this region and for the whole West Midlands, and really for the country. I want to see this as the best music college in the country. I think we've already made a serious beginning in that. We've got some fantastic teachers, some fantastic international chairs in different instruments. We have an opportunity with the facilities we've been given to do something really, really special here.